The Little Old Toymaker by Enid Blyton. There was once a little old man who lived with his wife in a tiny cottage. He was called Stubby the Toymaker, and he could make the loveliest toys. He liked making tiny toys the best, small chairs and tables for dolls' houses, little beds for tiny dolls to sleep in, and things like that. He was very clever at mending broken dolls too. Whenever a doll's face was broken, or an arm or leg, it was brought to Stubby and he mended it lovingly. Then came a sad time for the old toy maker. Nobody seemed to want his toys any more. All the children had unbreakable dolls which never needed mending. People said his shop was old fashioned, and they went to the big new stores in the nearest town. Stubby went on making his little chairs and tables, but nobody bought them. Stubby dear, I don't know what we shall do, said his little old wife. We have no money now, you know. You have not sold anything for 2 weeks. I cannot buy flour to make bread if I have no money. Dear me, wife, this will never do, said Stubby, taking off his big round glasses and polishing them furiously. He always did that when he wanted to think hard, and right now he was thinking very hard indeed. Have you thought of an idea, Stubby? Asked his wife at last. Stubby nodded. Yes, he said, but it isn't a very good one. You know, wife, our shop window is very old and the glass is not good. Perhaps people cannot see my nice little toys very well through it. Suppose we set out some little chairs and tables and beds on the broad top of the old wall outside, then everyone would see them. That is a very good idea, said his wife. I am quite sure that if people saw them, they would buy them. You really do make them so beautifully, Stubby dear. So out went the old toy maker and placed 6 little red chairs and a table to match on the top of the low stone wall outside. Then he put 2 small beds there as well, and his wife arranged the tiny sheets, blankets, and pillows on each. They did look so sweet. The sun shone down on them, and old Stubby felt quite certain that anyone passing by would come in and buy them at once. But nobody did. Nobody even seemed to notice the tiny furniture. It was most disappointing. I'll go and fetch them in after we have had supper, said Stubby. So the two sat down and had a poor supper of 1 cooked turnip out of the garden and a crust of stale bread. It was nearly dark when they had finished. Stubby got up and went out into the little garden to fetch in his doll's furniture. He walked to the wall and looked down at it in the twilight. To his great astonishment, there was no furniture there. It had gone. He felt all along the wall in dismay and then hurried back to his wife. Wife, wife, he called, all my chairs and the table and beds are gone. Has someone stolen them? Said his wife almost in tears. Oh, what a shameful thing to steal from a poor old couple like ourselves. Never mind, said Stubby. It shows someone noticed them anyhow. I'll put some more out tomorrow and I'll keep my eye on them. So the next day he put out a set of green chairs and a table to match and one tiny bed. He sat at his window and watched to see that no one took them. But nobody seemed to notice them at all. And then a strange thing happened. Stubby could hardly believe his eyes. He saw the chairs and table and bed walking off by themselves. Yes, really, they just slid down the wall and made off out of the gate. Stubby ran after them. Hi, hi, he called. What do you think you're doing? He made a grab at a chair, and to his enormous surprise, he got hold of a little wriggling figure that he couldn't see. Let me go, screamed the little creature he couldn't see. Show yourselves then, commanded Stubby, shaking with excitement. At once, the little struggling creature showed himself and became visible. It was a very small pixie. Bless us all, said Stubby, his eyes nearly dropping out with amazement. It's the very first time I've ever seen a fairy. Pray, what are you doing, stealing my chairs? Oh, are they yours? Said the pixie in surprise. Hi, brothers, stop carrying off this furniture. It belongs to someone. At once all the chairs and tables were set down, and many small pixies became visible before Stubby's astonished eyes. "We are really very sorry," said the first pixie. "You see, we found the chairs, tables, and beds on the wall there, and didn't know they belonged to anyone at all. We thought they were very beautiful, so we took them into the woods to show the queen." "Dear, dear me," said Stubby, flattered and pleased. "Did you really think they were beautiful? And what did the queen think?" "Oh, she liked them so much she said she would like ever so many more," said the pixies. "She has a new country house, you know, and she has been looking everywhere for furniture nice enough for it." "Well," said Stubby, most excited, "this is really lovely. You might tell the queen that I have a great deal more furniture if she would like to see it. I didn't put out my best pieces in case it rained." "Oh, of course we will tell her," said the pixies. "Goodbye for the present, old man. Take your chairs and table and bed. We'll go and tell the queen all you have said." Off they went, and Stubby took his toy furniture into the cottage with him and told his surprised wife all that had happened. That night there came a knocking at his door, and when Stubby opened it, who do you suppose was there? Yes, the queen, all dressed in shining moonlight with a silver star in her hair. She sat on the table and asked Stubby to show her all the furniture he had. With shaking hands, the old man set it out, and the queen exclaimed in delight. "Oh, what beautiful things you make!" she cried. "Just the right size for the little folk, too. I suppose, old man, you are too busy to make things for us? The humans must be so pleased with your work that you will have no time for fairy folk." Then Stubby told the queen how hard he found it to sell anything, and his wife told her how little they had in the larder. "We would be so glad if you could buy some of our goods," she said. "I can do better than that," cried the beautiful queen in delight. "Stubby, come and live in fairyland, will you?" "Please do. You can make all the furniture for my new country house, and there are no end of little jobs that your clever fingers could do really beautifully. I believe you could even patch up the wings of pixies when they get torn." "Oh, yes, I could," said Stubby, his eyes shining brightly behind his big spectacles. "I'll come whenever you wish, your majesty." So Stubby and his wife left their little cottage one fine morning and went to fairyland. There the queen gave them a little white house on a hill with two pixies for servants. Stubby makes beautiful furniture all day long, and he often patches up the torn wings of the pixies. And once a month he dresses himself up very grandly indeed, and so does his wife, for then the queen herself comes to tea, and each time there is a new little chair for her to sit in. She is so pleased.